Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And today I'm reviewing a film that's currently in theaters. Since this past week I did trivia reviews for all of the John Wick films, I thought it was only proper to do a regular review for the spin-off that just came out. And the film I'm referring to is the 2025 movie From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, that was directed by Len Wiseman. So even though this is the only John Wick related film so far that wasn't directed by Chad Stahelski, I did feel like this fit into the world very well. This spin-off takes place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4, just in case you didn't know that already. So let me tell you what the story concept is for this one. We start off in the past, where we meet a man and his young child, who are kind of on the run from another group that is connected to the world of John Wick and all of those other secret organizations, but this one apparently is even more secretive and more cult-like than any of the other ones. Now, the reason that they're hiding is the man actually got married to a woman who is part of this group and took her away from them. And this group does not allow for that. So they come to take him out and to take the child away and bring her back into the fold. Things only partially go as planned, and the little girl does manage to get away. She is eventually found by Winston, a character we recognize from the rest of the series, who takes her back to part of her original family, which is with the Roma Ruska, which is also the group that John Wick grew up in. We then get a few time skips as we jump through Eve's life, as we find her becoming a ballerina and also what's known as a protector, which is essentially trained like most of the other assassins in this group, but more about protection. We do get cameos from not only John Wick, but also Winston and Sharon. There's also the character of the director, played by Angelica Houston, who appeared in the third film and is now back for this one. Now, eventually, Eve does get some information about where this group that took out her father does reside. And so she takes it upon herself to go find them and hopefully take out the leader who took out her father. So I won't say much more about the plot at this point and leave that for you to find out for yourselves. In my opinion, Anna de Armas did an amazing job. I really think she has a great future when it comes to action films, and I have no complaints about her playing the character of Eve. I also thoroughly enjoyed the action moments in this film. They were really cool. They definitely had a couple of standout moments. And once again, no issues with any of that. Now, I did have some problems with this movie. The first one I'll mention is the character played by Daryl Dixon. Oh, I mean Norman Reedus. Oh, wait, there seems to be no difference there. I wish this wasn't true because I like Norman Reedus and I've seen him play different characters, but apparently they just told him, hey, just be Daryl Dixon for this movie. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like an episode of The Walking Dead, at least when he was on screen. Now, another problem I had is keeping up with the continuity. Mind you, I had just recently watched the other John Wick films, so always on my mind was, well, when exactly does this take place in the story or in the continuity? And they do a good job. There are moments where you're like, oh, okay, that happened here. But then there's other times where I just sat there being completely pulled out of the scene, just trying to be like, well, okay, when exactly does this happen? Or how does this happen if that was happening at this point? And it kind of became an issue for me, at least in my own opinion. I will say on that note, one of the biggest proponents to me having that problem was Ian McShane. I really like him as Winston, but for some reason they decided to give him the same haircut in the flashbacks and what he looks like currently, but also if some of the stuff that was happening currently is happening at the same time as the third or fourth movie, he also had a different hairstyle during that point. So that those little things really do drive me crazy because I am a big person when it comes to continuity. And I just got so frustrated with that. But once again, that may just be my own opinion. So let's actually just push the problems aside, though. In general, I did really enjoy this movie. I think it's a great addition to the John Wick universe, and I'd really love to see the character of Eve in a sequel that takes place after the events of all the other movies that we've seen so far. So for me, on my scale, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 5. If you've seen it already, or if you go and see it after this video, come back and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. But in general, I do recommend checking this one out in theaters while you can. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. And if there's any other films coming to theaters that you think I should watch and do a review for, Let me know in the comments.